Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to NMP Talk Show. And today is a special day for NMP Talk Show. Guess what? It's a season one finale. And as usual, I'm not alone. Fikile, welcome.
Thank
How are
you,
you
No.
doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much for asking. You're saying it's a good
Awesome.
thing. A season finale can never be great, hey?
Well, yes. It depends how you look at it. If you looking at it as you've achieved something, then that's
That's a
thumbs
birth.
up.
Okay.
But yeah, yeah. If you look at it as the end, it's bad. But the end is also good because there's a
It
beginning
means we
after that.
have reached our destination.
No, 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 no. The end, it means there's a beginning now.
That is great.
So
That is great. Although, as sad as it is that our season one is coming to an end, we are happy. I mean, we've learned a lot. Out of how many episodes did we have on the first season?
we have 22. In fact, we have more than 22, but for a season, it's 22 episodes.
Okay.
So we're so grateful that we've had so much support from our audience, on Twitter, on TikTok, on Riverside, on YouTube,
Mhm.
on different podcasts, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast. We also have Spotify. We have Amazon Music. Hey,
Yeah.
do you still want me to
I,
count?
I want you to continue so that our viewers can know how much we've grown since we started, because we only started, I think this was not even the platform we started on, and today we
No.
are broadcast in so many platforms. And yes, that's a massive growth over the year that we've achieved. So the season has been great from my side as well. I've grown talking to audience, talking to a screen. I mean, one can only grow in this, eh?
We never thought we would reach this milestone, hey? I
No, we
mean,
never.
when we started, it was like, let's try it out and see how it goes. And remember when we started, you didn't have your camera on most of the time.
Most of the time I was hiding away. I'm not a shy person, but I mean, you're thinking, okay, people will be viewing you. What will be the feedback? So you might as well switch off your camera. Don't speak to the camera.
Yeah.
Just speak like you're talking to yourself, and then everything will be good. But look at us
Yeah.
today.
You warmed up to the camera. The camera loves you. Look at you now, eh?
I mean, thank you.
I've been going through the shows now, all the shows on YouTube, and just looking at the growth, the level of growth that we come from.
Mhm.
It's amazing. From humble beginnings, I know we're still growing. We haven't reached to a point where we could say this is it.
Mhm.
There's always room for improvement, but yo, the growth is amazing, and we thank you so much. Guess what?
Mhm.
Sis Gemi has connected on Telegram. Sis Gemi,
Yes.
let me unmute you.
Welcome, Ausremi.
Hi, moms. How are you? You can unmute yourself there. Uh,
Yes. Can you
yes,
hear me now?
we can hear you loud and clear.
Oh.
Thanks for joining us. You.
Evening, guys.
Ausremi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good, Fikile. How are you? We missed you the last time.
I know, I know. I mean, with load shedding in South Africa, we'd never get used to it, and we'd never come up with the greatest plan on how to get the show going. But today I'm here. I wouldn't miss it for a day.
Oh,
Exactly, exactly. That's just so good,
Yeah.
to hear you again.
yes. That's how excited we are.
How you going places with all that is happening, the trends and all that?
Oh man,
Very funny. How are you, Neo?
we're doing fine, mommy. We're so grateful that you joined in the show today. Um, you're not on the other side where we can see you on camera, but you're on Telegram only audio. But your input has been so much appreciated throughout the time. I mean, all the shows that we had with you, oh yeah, we've gained a lot, and we know that we're just gonna grow with you alongside you.
Mhm.
So how are you feeling about our show though?
You know, Neo, because I joined you the show quite late in the year.
Mm,
To me, I was like, I was just starting to get into the grasp of the things. And I remember, as my profession, I'm not used to doing shows, talk shows, or radio or whatever.
mm,
So it was a really a new territory for me, but something that I really embrace, something that I think it's so valuable
yeah.
and adding so much value, not only to me as a person, as a professional, but to your listeners as well.
Mhm.
So yeah, you've really also put me into an arena that I wasn't ready for it, and I'm still learning. I'm still learning a lot of things about being on the show.
Oh yes,
So
we all
yeah,
are.
thank you to you guys.
I mean,
No, thank you.
Auskemi, thank you. We were recapping it with Neo as to where I started up to date. I mean, we are all learning. I'm still learning to date, but I'm better than where I was when we started the show. So you will grow with us, and we appreciate you being
Absolutely.
part of us. And we are looking forward to growing with you on an NMP talk show.
Definitely.
Absolutely. I'm too looking for 2023, and we have to declare that 2023 is going to be greater than what happened in 2022.
Yes, that will be
Oh
our
yeah,
season 2. Hey.
Oh,
definitely.
that will be season two. So
Yes.
this
Yes,
was season one.
This was
yes. This was
season
season
1. We
one.
are closing
You
it.
started early in the show.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you started the beginning of 2022.
We
No, in fact, we started in the thick of COVID, the which was 20.
It was 2020 when we
Mhm.
started, but
Yeah,
it was something that we were giving it a try. So it was only
yeah.
once a month, sometimes once in 2 months, but we were strong.
Yeah.
Actually, I was looking into it now. We started
Mm,
on the first week of November. That was in 2021. That's when we
wow.
started to be consistent, and we
Yeah.
never missed a week to date.
To date.
Mm,
To date.
And thanks to you, my co-host.
mm.
Thanks to you, our producer.
And you need to clap for yourself. You know that clapping you were doing for me. You
Definitely,
need to clap for
definitely.
yourself.
Oh, definitely. How can I forget that? So now, I went through all our shows, just to look at the things that we've done, the times that we've engaged each other, sad times, happy times. I know we've reached countries like the US, and they joined in. Oh, guess what?
We
We're going
actually
to
met
have,
Poland as well. I was
yeah,
actually surprised to say, not really surprised. I was happy to know that we
yeah.
have reached countries like Poland as well. We've got viewers there. The US, I
I
mean,
couldn't
in
believe
a
it too.
way, it was a given. But hey, Poland, I mean, who would have known?
Wow, 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 wow,
Yeah.
wow.
So
Yeah.
let's get on the show.
Yes.
Get on with the show.
Mhm, mhm.
Um, when we had a show, how does your career affect your mental wellness? I mean, there were points that I picked up from there. They were amazing. I thought I could even recap for everyone that's listening there. We saw how damaging choosing a wrong career it was. Especially when you have chosen it because of peer pressure, or you've been pressurized by the parents who to do. You know, Auschemi, parents
Yes.
sometimes would say, we are a family of doctors, so you have to be a doctor. So by
Mm,
default, when you reach your matric, already they've set a course for you that you need to be a doctor.
Mhm.
Oh, we are a family of police, law and order. This is what you need to be, or a lawyer, you know. And what I've learned from this show is, uh, choosing a career that way has a negative impact on someone's wellness, mental wellness, because you go and study. After studying, you work, and work gets too hectic for you. You work
Mhm.
long hours, and then now thinking, this is not what I want to do. Which now it's too late
mm,
for you to turn back and say, okay, let me start over. You have responsibilities, you have a family to care for,
Mhm.
and you just can't quit. You can't stop and hit the reset button and say, I'm gonna start studying something else that I want,
Mhm.
and which minimum would take you 3 years, you know,
Mhm.
in all honesty. And then in that 3 years, you have
mm.
to gain experience on that thing. Now imagine if you were studying as a doctor. So doctors go for 7 years, eh?
7 years, yeah.
Yes.
Now
6 years. The
6 years.
last year it's training.
Yeah.
Yeah, on-site training. The
Mhm.
last year. Yeah.
on-site training. That's if you don't fail.
Yes. Exactly.
So
That's a
that's
nice one.
7 years. Because if you fail, you're extending your years, isn't it?
I mean,
You're
you
going to
can
have
do it
another
in
year.
10 years.
Now imagine if you've done it for 10 years,
Mhm.
and then you reset, and then you go for 3 years for something that you like. Now that's 13 years.
Mhm.
13 years to your age. Where does it get you? Very far.
Mm,
Very
Mhm.
far, uh, and then close to pension. And that's when you see, yeah, no, these things are not right. So that's what I picked up from that show, and yeah, it was amazing.
mm,
And our speaker also said that, you need to look at your skill, your passion, and where people are willing to pay. And then she drew us the three, almost like an Audi, rings on the grill.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he said that this is your sweet spot. This is where you're gonna get paid. This is where your passion will be, and your skill will be. So,
Mhm.
is this where you are? And it got me
mm,
thinking that, sure, yeah, this is a long road, but
mm,
if you are on that course, yeah, you just have to make do with it.
Mhm.
Make peace,
Mhm.
and just make it work.
Yeah.
Remind yourself why
absolutely.
you're doing it. Because if you're doing it just for fun, then fun doesn't last. But if you're doing it to care for yourself, your family, then this is where your mind should be, not on the career, but
Mhm.
on taking care of your family.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's what I caught from that show, and it was a beautiful show indeed. I hope she would have joined. Mondays, she says, is hectic for her, so we're excusing you. It's okay. We'll see you next year on our season 2.
Season 2, yes.
So so Mam Khaimi, on the two
Yeah,
shows,
but
that you were with us,
Mhm.
yes.
anything you would like to share, or you take us back to, just to remind us what we've learned, how does it benefit us?
Just before I respond on the question you're asking me about the shows I did with you,
Hmm,
I just wanted to add something on the comment
hmm,
you made about the show you had, the career one.
yeah.
Mhm.
To say that there's a what we call, you do something because it's part of your purpose why you are in this planet. And then on the other hand, you do something because you just want to earn money and
Mhm.
survive.
Hmm,
Mhm.
So you find people are in careers for either one of the two.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why people, you find they're just in some careers because, as you said, families or parents have forced them to be a doctor when he just wanted to be an artist, and sing.
Mm.
And that's where his passion is. So in society, unfortunately, we end up with that. You're either in a job to earn money and survive, or you are in a job because it's your passion and,
Mm.
and, and your purpose. And if it's your purpose, you're going to do it with all your heart. You're going to do it even when there is no money. You're going to do it even when you can't find clients or customers,
Mm.
whatever it is. And so we are found ourselves. Sometimes it's not even our parents, it's us. I can share an example of myself. Me choosing the career that I've chosen wasn't my first choice, but thank God I ended up with it, because otherwise, how was I gonna be part of your show
I know,
and
right?
and and But to be honest, it wasn't my first love. I wanted to do BCom degree,
Uh-huh.
but because of the university that I was, they will scare you and tell you you're gonna fail. BCom is so hard. And I said, no, my parents don't have a lot of money for me to stay here for many, many years. So
Mm.
I'm going to do social work. And I went to social work and I loved it. And today here I am. So sometimes it's not even our parents. Yes, some it's our parents, they force us, be a doctor, be a neurologist, be a cardiologist, whatever, whatever. So it's very important that people understand, as the expert has said, you are either in a job to earn income to survive, or you are in a job to pursue a purpose that God has created you on this earth
Mm.
to do. When you look at people like Tiger Woods, he played golf like it's his purpose. And because it's his purpose, it just pays him money.
Mm.
He doesn't even have to worry about the money. The money follow the purpose. So that's just my comment that I wanted to add on that. However, going back to your question on me, what has been very profound for me about being part of your show is that sometimes you look at life and you say, I can't even craft life myself. I've never thought I was going to be part of your show. I was just working with Kathy, providing my services, and
Yeah.
and I'm thinking, today I'm part of this show. I'm being asked to come and talk about things that I do, things that I provide to people on a daily basis. But one thing that made me realize through the two shows I participated is that the issue of mental health is a serious issue in our society.
Yeah.
I was watching TV with my son right now, and she just said, have you realized that mental health, it's always planted on TV? Every single 1 hour, there's a health talk section. They talk about mental health. I was contacted by the head office here, Unjani Clinic.
Mm.
They want to broaden this thing in 2023. They want to make it countrywide, but they're still looking for a way where they can broaden the social work services within all their clinics. They say they've got 135 clinics worldwide. So they say, because they've realized the issue of depression, mental health, it's a very important thing. And if they can integrate it into their clinics, where you don't get people just being attended medically only, but they can get medical health, and at the same time, they can be attended to in terms of their lifestyle issues, challenges, depression, stress, etc. And for me, I found, wow, we are actually moving into the right direction.
Ma'am
And
Gemi.
and I think you listen to the story of that lady
Yeah.
who had another show somewhere where he was talking about GBV. These are the things that we need to deal with them. Not only talk about them, but talk and act, talk and do something about them, because we are they are the pandemics.
Yeah.
We might have had COVID pandemic,
Yeah.
but we have got a GBV pandemic, we have got a mental health pandemic,
Pandemic.
etc., etc. So
Yes.
I find that I feel like I stepped into this at the right time, and that's what the universe does. If you are at the right place at the right time, things just move. And for me, I could have never appreciated this moment in my life, because there are many social workers out there that do great things, but I'm not sure whether they are able to come out and talk and share what they're doing
Yeah.
and impact society the way one will get an opportunity to even use a platform like yours. So
Ma'am
for me,
Gemi.
I'm really really grateful, and
Ma'am.
I've learned a lot as well. and especially about how a talk show is run.
There's something that you forgot to tell them.
And then
There's something that you forgot to tell them.
I'm just joking.
Hey, Ma'am Khemi. Can you hear me, Ma'am Khemi?
Yes, I can hear you.
I'm saying there's something that you forgot to tell your head office.
Mm,
That NMP talk show is the platform they
yes,
can use because you're already using it.
Mhm.
yes.
You forgot that you are already
Absolutely,
there. They're looking at
absolutely.
135 clinics.
I'm just waiting for them because they say they are working on a model.
Uh,
They want to internalize the model, but they're busy. So I'm just waiting for them to get their acts together. When they are ready and say, now we want to market this thing, we want to talk about. I'm just gonna talk. I'm just gonna tell them about NMP. So
the
I'm
act
waiting for the right moment.
the act is already on.
It's
Yeah, no,
The
we
act
have
is
to
already
move like we have to move bigger, greater, and they always say better.
Oh yes,
Just
Yes.
yeah.
be big.
Khemi,
Mm,
you mentioned something about mental health awareness. We understand because we are on this platform that it is very critical. It's a critical subject
Mm.
that affects all of us one way or the other. And after our first talk show when we had you, I needed your services, unfortunately
Yes.
or fortunately,
mm,
and now I knew where to go to. So I find out in the society, people are struggling as to,
Mm.
okay, I know I'm feeling some type of way, maybe mentally
Mm.
I'm not okay. Where can I go where I will not be judged, where I will be taken care of?
absolutely.
And your clinic is offering us that to say, come to me. I can do this virtually. You don't have to come and visit my clinic in person. I can do this virtually with you. So that's one
Mm,
way of
Mm.
reaching the public, like as a whole, like not only in South Africa, as we were saying. How much viewers do we have in South Africa now in terms of percentage?
We have 90%.
Okay, that's
Yesterday
our.
when I checked, we had 90. Yeah, those are majority. And guess
We've
what?
got.
The majority is in Gauteng. Can you believe it?
Wow. Okay,
mm,
interesting.
mm. At times, because the
Yeah,
population of Gauteng
yeah,
is the biggest out of the 9 provinces,
yeah,
so it
yeah.
makes sense. Yeah.
No, we need to reach all the provinces. It was
Mm,
Gauteng is on the top, and it's the only one. So I'm thinking, how can we reach to other provinces? You know, because mental wellness does not affect Gauteng only; it affects everyone, all the provinces. Wherever there's people, there's mental wellness to be talked about.
Mhm,
So we just need to go all out, to all these provinces and just let them know,
mm,
or create this awareness.
mhm.
And I'm happy that we've met you, Mam Khaimi, because with the field that you're in, you really directly link to people who need help mentally. You know, yes, obviously emotionally as well, because there is always a connection there. But the emotions are being affected by their mental wellness, right? If you have
absolutely.
if you have a positive outlook on things, it affects your emotions. You start feeling good about yourself, about everything. You want to go all out, do all the things that you love because now your outlook is positive. But once it becomes obscured because of the pressures of life, then your emotions, also take an off ramp,
Mhm.
and that's where we have so many issues. So we're happy that we know you. We're happy we know Unjani Clinic. Just a disclaimer, it's not sponsoring
But
us yet. Underline yet, underline yet.
yet we are getting there.
plan for the future. The
Yes,
fact that it's already in the mind, it shows it's a plan for the future. And
yes,
the
Exactly.
future will take care of it, you know?
Exactly.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Mm.
So Fikile,
yes.
what are your highlights of the shows that we had?
You know what, Neo? I've got plenty of highlights in this show.
Yeah.
There's a lot that I have learned. There's one thing currently that comes into mind. I think
Mm.
we were laughing about it, and I was laughing when I was watching the show where we were talking about aesthetic medicine or aesthetic
Mm.
treatment. I mean, we're under the
Okay.
notion that aesthetic treatment is for females only. I guess
Oh yes.
we even
Oh
mentioned
yes.
you even mentioned that when we started the
I
show,
was
and
reprimanded, eh?
only to find
Dr.
that
Khanzi, now I know. Dr.
yes,
Khanzi, now I know. I
yes.
also can do that.
Exactly, exactly. And I always thought that the facial treatment was for certain race. Us black
Mm.
people, we even have that to say, black doesn't crack. And after
Mm.
rewatching this show, I realized that actually black does crack. As Dr. Khansi was saying on the show, that black does
Mm.
crack. So we need to take care of our skin as black as we are, and we need to do it in a cheaper way, and the cheaper way will be to drink a lot of water, to eat healthy. This will nourish your skin, so you will be good in the long run. You don't have to go for the extremes when it comes to taking care of your skin. And she said that on the
Mm.
show, we failed to go. I wasn't using sunscreen, especially when I'm putting on makeup. I wouldn't even think of using sunscreen. But since
Mm.
then, I realized that it's important to put on the sunscreen as my base before I put on my makeup, because I'm exposed to the sun. This is South Africa, it's hot. So I need to use at least a sunscreen with the SPF 30. And this is cutting the cost for like at this point. Going forward, I won't have the huge bill going to her clinic, to take care of my skin. And another thing that I like is that I didn't like when she mentioned it, because I mean, look at me today. I'm wearing my makeup, and after this show, I have to go and wash it. I still don't like that fact, but it was a reminder to say it's important for us as ladies. After your day of wearing makeup, you go home at night, you wash your makeup, you wipe it off, you wash your face, you moisturize it, and then you keep it hydrated. It will be good. And she introduced something that I think it's in the pipeline to go for. It was a green peel, that you can do once a month. So a green pill, to those who missed it, it's a herbal treatment, like it's natural herbs treatment that provides energy to your skin. It stimulates your blood circulation, and it improves your skin naturally. So those are the things that I enjoyed when we spoke about aesthetic medicine. Is there anything you liked about it?
Yo, I liked everything. I even plan to go for my facial as well,
Mhm,
you know.
mhm,
But
mhm.
but I won't go alone. I'm
Oh,
taking my
obviously.
wife.
She
She'll
has
be
to
the
be part
first.
of this process.
She will be the first to be done, and looking at how she takes it, then I can decide. But when I'm there, I like. No, no. She spoke about, what did she speak about?
It was the green
That I
pill
can do.
that you can do. So it
Was it the green pill?
energizes. Yeah, it's the green pill. That she says people fall asleep when they're going through the treatment, and then
Oh
after
yes.
waking up, they
Mm.
feel so energized, and then they can
Mm.
go another day. Us talking too much, working so hard, we need that at least once a month.
Ah yes, definitely,
Yes.
definitely. And we also enjoyed another one, parenting a ADHD child. I thought that would have been a very um, tight, or a depressing topic, but the way Virginie expressed it, explained it, she made it look so light, and and you now you're looking at the parents, although you see that it's a lot of work
Mm-hmm.
raising a child with ADHD, but then how she gone with it, with that presentation, explaining it. Yeah, yeah. I actually have much more respect for parents with children with ADHD. I
Mm-hmm.
cannot imagine myself,
Mm.
that dedicated, as a parent with a child with ADHD.
Mm-hmm.
She also mentioned something that was very interesting. It actually caught my attention more than anything else. Now, the economic opportunities. Um, how she managed to have this set heavy subject and then extract light
Mm-hmm.
from it,
Yeah.
something
Mm.
positive out of it.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing. You could see that she's done her research, and she knows what she's doing, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and that you
Mm.
could also claim back for disability from SARS. It was quite amazing as well, because now you're spending so much money for consultation. Do you remember what she said? One consultation was about 3,000, eh?
Yeah, yeah, it was
Something
actually
like that.
the
Yo,
initial
I nearly
consultation was
fell off from my
expensive.
chair after listening to
Yeah,
that. Yo,
yeah.
ha,
It
I'm
was
like, how?
actually
wow.
there's one thing though that I liked, and I think I hope most of our listeners took as well, was that
Hmm,
when you've got a child with ADHD, you need
yeah,
to do your research when it comes to taking up medical aid. You need to know what is covered, because I mean, most of the time we find ourselves indebted while we've got medical aid because we chose the
mm,
wrong option. So I think it was a mind opener
Mm.
to say that, look, um, check the kind of medical aid, the scheme that you're going into, whether it covers this, whether it covers that. At least you've got your calculations. Now you will know if you have to top up, you will know how much you need to top up in time before you can even go consult. You know that, okay, I'm taking my child to see a consultation, for a consultation, and this is how much I will have to pay after that. You can either pay it upfront or you can pay it later. So it was very important
mm.
for me when she mentioned that.
Oh yes, oh yes. Do you want to laugh? Oh! Guess what? She's
Yes.
even responding. Thanks for the positive feedback. Ha, Virginie. Awesome, awesome. I see. We have a lot more viewers on Riverside this time, more than
Today,
on
yes,
Telegram.
I see that
Yeah,
most of the viewers are coming through on Riverside.
yeah,
Some of my TikTok viewers are struggling to go
yeah,
on Riverside. Unfortunately, if you are viewing on the link using your phone, you will have to download the app. But on your computer,
yeah,
you will be able to to check it. But if you're
yeah,
struggling, you
yeah,
can join us on Twitter. We are live on Twitter. Am I correct?
yes, we are.
Yes,
Yes, we are.
you can join us on Twitter, NMP Talk Show, and we are live
Yes.
on Telegram. You can join us on Telegram as well. Going forward,
So
Nelu, yes,
on Twitter, they must look for Neomorabidi Productions,
yes, on
and
Twitter
then
it's
that's
Newa
yeah,
Morapedi Productions, and then you will be
yeah,
you will see us live.
yeah, yes, yeah. So thanks, Virginie, for your feedback there. We stoked now. We very encouraged. We want to go and move on.
Yes.
Can I tell you something that's, I don't know if it's funny.
Mhm,
Um, you and I, Fikile,
mhm.
have never met in person
Yes, it is
till date.
actually it's quite funny and very interesting, but I love technology and how it worked. We started all this during
What are you trying
during
to say?
2020, and we never met in person. But we talk like
We're like 20 kilometers away from each other,
that's the
mind you.
interesting part.
20 kilometers from
Away
each
from
other.
each other.
Yeah. Yes, Ma'am Khami?
No, I was saying, so you've been working with each other for 2 years. without having seen each other physically?
Not only
We've
working for
never,
2 years, we've been working for over 2 years together. We talk
yes,
almost
yeah,
every day, but we've
every
never
day,
met
yeah, in
in
person.
person.
How? In
Shocking,
person?
Never met in
shocking.
How?
person.
Is that even possible?
We made the impossible possible.
We made it possible. Like we made
I'm sure
running a
you
talk show
amazing
virtually.
possible through technology.
Yes.
Yes,
Sure.
Oh yeah.
No, but it's a great story.
it
Because I
is.
imagine if I've worked with somebody for 2 years and I've never seen them personally, I don't know. But you guys are great. The fact that you can do it and it's working.
I don't know how we do this, but yeah.
We've been doing it. I mean, we've been doing it, and I don't even until Noah mentions the story. I don't even think about it. You know, until
About it.
no, it's not
So
even because I know
there's
if
not like one day, let's meet somewhere for coffee so that we can chat the program over a cup of coffee. That hasn't happened.
no,
We talked
never.
about it, but it
We
never happened.
we talked about meeting for coffee, but we never met.
Yeah.
So that's the fun of
Oh,
having
what a story.
technology. That's the fun of having technology. You know, we do
Yeah.
discuss the show. What are we having? What's happening? How are we
Yeah.
gonna go about it? Almost after the show, before the
Mm.
Monday, as to okay, this is what
Yes.
we're talking about. This is how the opening is gonna be like, and this is what's gonna go. This is how it's gonna go, and we go.
Mm.
You know, nobody is saying I cannot. Even if I
Hmm.
feel like I cannot, I'll have to make it happen.
Hmm. True, true, true.
Right.
Sure,
Yes.
wow. Now, that's a great partnership because I mean, it's not like I've met you guys personally,
Yeah.
but it's working. The show is going on. The show, as they say, the show moves on. So, yeah, I guess it's the same thing that maybe with you it's 2 years,
Mhm.
Mm.
whereas with me it's what, 4 weeks,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
a
couple of
month or
months.
so.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah,
but
but
I've
it's
met, but I've
very much
met
the same
you.
thing.
I've met you. Remember for a photo shoot.
Oh yes, oh yes, yes,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah.
By the way, no,
Yes.
I saw you, so
Yeah.
it's different. Where I can say
But
I
that
haven't seen
doesn't
Fikile,
mean
but I think I've seen you by default. By the way, not by design, by
Yeah.
default.
So this takes us to another show that we had. You're not alone.
yes.
Um,
Yes.
although
Hey.
we talk a lot on social media, but there are circumstances where we feel alone, and we feel
Mm,
alone because we're going through depression and there's bullying and those things, they make us feel alone, they make us isolated. Remember,
mhm,
we had one caller
Mm.
who said that because of this depression, they prefer not associating with anyone. So they go to work,
Mm.
they come back home, they lock themselves in the house,
mhm,
and they're happy to have a company of their family only.
mhm.
Not associating with a lot more people. And it was it was sad. It was a hard pill to swallow, to know that
Mm.
we as creatures of there's an expression saying umuntu umuntu ngabantu.
Abantu.
I hope, did I say it right, Fikile?
Yes, you said it right.
Phela isiZulu sami can be.
I mean, it's like my Sutu Twana Bedi.
With that thinking, that a person can isolate themselves like that. And Mam Khemi, you mentioned something when we were talking about this, that it's not healthy to have somebody isolating each other, themselves from the community or from people, because you never know what you're thinking. You might be having
Mm.
suicidal thoughts. You might be thinking about doing something very bad. you
Mhm.
know um sure, that how did you feel about that, Mam Khemi?
It was, yeah, it was sad, as you say. It was a bit traumatizing, even
Yeah.
for us who were actually on the show as a guest. I'm sure as you producers, to say that that is actually not a healthy way of
mm,
dealing with depression. However,
mm,
at that time, the person feel she or he needs to do that,
Mhm.
isolate, withdraw, because what goes into their mind is that a lot of things, maybe I'm not worthy,
mm,
maybe, people don't like me, maybe
Mhm.
this problem is just too much. So the isolation becomes a way out, a way out of disappearing
mm,
from the public, from the community, from the people. However, it's not a good thing because, as you say, when you are alone, your mind keeps on waking. You start thinking a lot of things. Some of them are not good. Some of them can actually be very harmful. And you may
Mhm.
even think things that are very going to be very unfortunate, like suicide. If you trace people who have committed suicide
mm,
and they tell you what was happening before a week or 2 weeks that they did what they did, a lot of times the families will tell you, he was a little bit quiet, he
Mhm.
was withdrawn. He normally knocks off at 5, but lately he will come home at 7 at night because he or she will knock off
wonder
at
about.
at work, but won't come home because at
Mhm.
home there are people and he just want to be alone. So some of them will stay behind at the office and pretend to be working in the evening, but they're actually not working.
Mm,
They're hiding from something. They don't want to be next to their families. They're thinking, this thing that is happening around me, what am I going to do with it?
mm,
Is there even a solution? Because maybe I've been in it for too long.
mm,
So what is it that can just end this problem
mm,
that I'm having? And sometimes people think, killing themselves is the way out. Some will say, no, 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 I won't go that route. However, I don't want to be among people. They're irritating me. They're going to judge me. I'm not worthy. Maybe a whole lot of things. So it's not even a very comfortable space to be
mm,
where you decide to be alone. But
Mhm.
unfortunately, at that time, that's where they feel safe because in
mm,
that loneliness, nobody's going to judge them. They feel they're
Mhm.
in
Mhm.
control of that situation because it's just that person and the environment. So he doesn't have to account to the next person. How are you feeling? No, I'm feeling this way today. Do you think you need help? So they are running away from all those things. However, it's still important for people around them to also take charge of that situation, to say, we know he is in a lonely place, so he cannot take care of that situation. We have to step in and help and do something. So yeah, it was a very touching story. And it was a woman anyway. Most of your listeners are women, but
mm.
and she sounded like a very strong character.
She
What
is.
Mhm.
surprised me, she sounded like a very strong woman, and I was thinking, here she is. She sounds strong, but she feels she would rather isolate herself than be amongst people. It's not a healthy place to be. It's
Mhm.
not a good solution because it can produce a lot of very bad decisions.
Mm,
And remember, when somebody is under depression, their thought processes, it's weak. They can't think things through straight. They make very bad decisions. So
Mhm.
leaving people alone in that state is really not wise. So
mm,
yeah, but it was a very, very touching story, and as I say, I felt like she's a strong woman. And
yeah.
sometimes you can feel vulnerable women to say, yeah, you expect this to happen to her. But that one, I thought, because she was very articulate, she
Mhm.
told a story
Mm.
without even
Mincing her
mincing. She was
words.
very,
Mm,
very bold. But
Mhm.
I guess when it comes to depression, it doesn't matter whether you're a strong person
yeah.
Or
or you're
not.
weak, it will always crush you.
Yeah.
But it was, yeah, very, very touchy story.
Yeah.
I have to confess,
And the other
Femi,
lady,
after
remember
this.
the other lady who said, what was her name?
Oh,
Fikile?
Fikile.
The other lady who said a story of
Konkosi.
being abused by the husband, something
Kokos.
like that.
No, no,
Costa
it
or
wasn't.
something like, I can't remember her name. Do you remember
Kokosi.
the lady who called?
Konkosi, it never mentioned about being abused by the husband, but it was that she went through so much trauma as a child. You know, she
As a
was
child, yeah.
stabbed, she was
Oh yes,
sexually
Right.
childhood trauma.
assaulted.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes, yes,
definitely.
it has been going on for the longest time, and that she felt like people were after her almost her whole life. You know, I must say, after that show, I felt so depressed because I didn't
Yeah.
know people go through that much. Hence, our topic was saying you are not alone. Usually, we're looking at what we go through personally and say, oh, this is too much. But after the show, I knew that, you know what, people are going through the most. And I appreciate both those women. They
Mm.
were very much bold. They were very much positive in whatever they went through. They not dwelling on it. They willing to see life in a positive light. So that's one thing I appreciated about those
Mm.
guests.
You know, the next day in the morning, I did I call you or send you a message?
Who, me?
I think I sent you a message. Oh my word,
Now you called
that
me
was
because I was actually I was down, and you called. I wanted to ignore your call for some reason.
always.
But I mean, your call I'll never miss. So I had to take it. So after taking it and knowing that you felt what I felt as well, actually your show wanted. Actually, I did an introspection to see as to, okay, if people are going through this, I might have experienced my traumas, but I
Hmm,
wanna be there for others. Auschemi
yeah.
actually helped me a lot to say you need to look for certain things on your friends, your relations, your relatives, your neighbors. You know, if you see those signs, you just know that these people are going through the most, and it is your
Hmm,
responsibility. If you speak to that person and that person doesn't want to go and seek help, it is your responsibility to help that person to get help.
yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
But
Absolutely.
it was a sad show, I must say.
Mhm.
I've had shows that, you know, that would sadden me, you know, my mood, dampen my mood. But that one was the it.
I That
That
one was
was
the
the
it,
it.
I must say too, hey.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So we had another show about healthy eating.
Mhm.
Obviously, when you're going through depression and all of that, um, it affects your eating habits. You know,
Mhm. Mhm.
some people when they are down, then they would tend to go for fast food. You know, they call it comfort food,
Comfort food, yes.
and yeah, comfort food. You know,
Mhm.
where they would try to
Mm.
find comfort from it,
Mhm.
and only to find that that comfort food is what is worse or what is wrong, especially for how you're feeling about your health. So Jacinta Mdubane, the dietitian, you know, elaborated nicely on the foods that we can eat, and you know, creating a habit
Mhm.
and breaking away from the norm of saying, no, I'm a man, I eat pap in the morning, you
Mhm.
know,
Mhm.
that's my culture, you know. So you get pap in the morning, pap during the day, pap
Yes.
during the
In the
night.
evening,
I
yes.
remember when I was working full time. When I was working full time, yo, okay, before working full time, I was looking for a job.
Yeah.
So I joined, you know, people that would stand at the gate, you know, waiting to be hired. And 5 o'clock in the morning, we were there. 6 o'clock, I'm having this much of pap and meat that's covering the whole plate at 6 in the morning.
It's your
We
culture.
eating, we eating that. Ne? Lunchtime, the same thing. You get home, there's pap, there's meat,
You must eat
and
pop.
and when she mentioned that yo, those habits are really bad for your health. I kind of like,
Mm.
oh, this is so sad. But what can you do? They're the professionals. They know about cholesterol. They know about obesity. They know about sugar diabetes.
Mm.
those are
Mm.
lifestyle diseases that we need to be careful of. And I'm grateful that she expanded on it. And I hope she's connected somehow. Yeah? If she
Let's
is,
hope. If
but
she
we'll see
is,
her next
please let
week.
us know. But
I see. I
again, we
guess not
appreciate
really.
her. We
Yeah,
appreciate that actually she told us that we're looking at one set of things. Like I'll be looking at
mm,
brown rice, how the price of brown rice, but I don't
yeah,
look at the impact healthy eating has in my life,
mm,
and how cheap
yeah,
it will be for me to go for healthy eating than for me to go for the cheaper food that I feel like it's cheaper and then face
yeah,
the consequences in the long run. So I think we appreciated that, to say, look, go and buy the whole grocery. Don't look at the item. Look at the whole thing, the overall, because you're
the
not
whole
gonna
picture.
go. Yes, you're not gonna go consult because you were eating healthy, but the chances of you consulting if you're eating your junk food is very high. So you just have
Yeah,
to compare on that and then decide as to which one is great for you.
yes, that's so true.
Mhm.
Mm.
What else do you wanna share, my co-host?
There's this one. I'm looking at the time, and I know that you always, you always talk about your
No,
time.
don't worry,
But
I have music for
anyways,
you. I have music for you.
thank you. There's we had two professionals. We had an advocate and an attorney in our show where we were
Yeah,
discussing marital regimes.
mental
It's
regimes.
it's it's something that we don't look at in South Africa. I will say in South Africa because that's where I'm based. That when you are getting married and you do not sign your ANC, by default you are marrying in community of property.
Not the party. Mm.
No. So by default you are married in community of property, and
Mm.
we
Yeah.
don't know the reason why we enter into a certain marital regime. Like she mentioned, three of them: marrying in community of property,
Mm.
marrying out of community of property with accrual, and without accrual. And she actually defined the three types of marital regimes and its pros and cons. And I find that most people these days are going for, okay, it's a topic that we don't like discussing. I remember we even asked as to when do we ask what kind of marital regime you want to enter into, because if we say by the time you start dating, you can discuss as to, okay, what are your liabilities, what type of marital regime you want to enter into. So it will be like you are too forward if you discuss that. But I like what the attorney said, the advocate said on that day, that you know what, you are never forward. These are the
Yeah,
uncomfortable conversations that we need to have, because obviously we are dating because we want to get married, and one way or the other, the type of the marital regime we enter into will affect us. If you want to go into business and you've got partners, imagine this: you are in business, you are married in community of property, and every time the company wants to take up a loan, you have to speak to your partner. Your
your
partner
partner.
has got nothing to do with the business, but every time you need to do that, you need to go and ask your partner. So those are the things actually that were eye-opening, to say, you know what, have a discussion.
Mm.
It's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable for somebody to ask me, what's the size of your liabilities? What's the size of your assets? But it's crucial for us to discuss that, because whatever liabilities I have, if I marry in community of property, it will affect our marriage. And
Yeah.
after that show I made, I went for, like, we like reading, we like doing research. I realized that most of divorces that incur these days, it's due to the financial conversations. It will be either the funds were mismanaged, or I didn't actually come forward to say, hey, by the way, I owe about 2.5 million, we are getting married, so either way you'll have to pay for my liabilities. So whatever assets you accumulated before we get married, now we'll have to use them to set off my liabilities. So those are the conversations we don't have. It is very important for us to have them even before the lobola negotiations. One thing I liked as well that we discussed on that day is that sit down with your attorney before you say lobola. Sit down with your attorney. Tell them about your situation. Let them consult with you, and then they will give you advice accordingly, according to your situation as well. So that's one thing I learned on that show, and I liked what they pointed out, and I hope that most of our viewers learned something into it. That when you
Oh, yeah.
discuss this, it's not because you don't like your partner, you don't love your partner anymore. It's because you are thinking of protecting the estate of your family or the estate of your partner.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm,
Well, yeah, we had fun this season, and I especially want to thank all our guests, that accepted our invitation to come to the show.
Mhm.
Although our show being so small already compared to other shows out there, but you honored the invite. That makes us feel very special, and we
Yes.
thank you for that. And we're growing with you. We're going to different channels that we absolutely want to break in, and we're breaking in with you. I think we have somebody who sent a message there. Absolutely very important conversation. Oh, what is the name there? Thank you for that. Thank you for your comment there. Um,
Oh, they took
about the
away
conversation that we're having.
they took away their name.
Anonymous. They're anonymous. So
Thanks,
all the
Anonymous.
professionals, yeah, all the professionals that were on our show, Mam Gemi, a social worker. We had Dr. Kgantsi, who's also a medical doctor, and we had Dr. Lekganyane, also a medical doctor. We had, friends like Tressa from America, very loud, and she made us laugh the whole show. You know, I always look at the clip, and he's talking about South Africa,
Being
that
a town.
being a town and a country. She's correcting people everywhere she goes, like South Africa. No,
South Africa is not a town.
no.
We had actually lovely guests, and we would like to appreciate all of them. We had
Yes,
advocate
yes,
Dorothy Nkosi, we had
yes,
attorney Phiwe, Matlou. I mean, they gave us the insights of their professions as well. So now
yes.
we've got a different view on each and every topic we've discussed on this show, and we appreciated them sharing this with our viewers, and we appreciated our viewers for joining in and be part of our journey.
We can't even forget Mam Thandi Maqubela. I mean,
Oh,
she's been with us
yes.
from the start of the show. She's an amazing woman. Thank you, Sis Thandi, for being part of our show, even at an early stage where it was still a baby. But you were there,
Yes,
supporting and
yes,
rooting us.
yes.
Do you know that she watches every show and sends me comments on the show?
I love the feedback. I once got the feedback from her. That's why
Yeah,
I'm still sitting here in this chair today on a Monday afternoon to do this show.
yeah,
It was because of Mam Tandi's words, to say she appreciated what we were doing, and we appreciate
yeah.
her for sharing her story. Most people are not really keen on on sharing their life journeys, but she shared
Yeah.
hers, and we appreciated that very much. I do believe
Yeah.
that some people did have a lesson or two out of her life journey.
Yeah. So we're not undermining those that we didn't mention by name, but we thank you all from the bottom of our hearts. And we want to invite you back again to the show. And the next season, we have few lined up from the United States. They're also going to be talking about the wellness. They're also podcasters, so they agreed to join our podcast, so that they can sit in and we have a discussion with them. So we're reaching everywhere out there in the world. So
Mhm.
we're looking forward to having that show with you and expanding our reach to the communities. It doesn't matter where you're from. So
Mhm.
if you know somebody that doesn't know about NMP Talk Show, it's your duty to tell
To
them.
inform them.
Invite them, please.
I mean, how can I forget my kids who allowed, who
Wena,
shared
wena,
their stories on our show as well about bullying? How can I forget Buhle and Tando? I
you will not have
appreciate,
slept in that house.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't. But I appreciate you guys very much. Thank you for allowing us and the world to hear your stories and how you help
Mm.
each other and others out there. Do continue doing what you are doing. It is great work. That's what I want to
Uh,
be when I grow up.
Wow, that is the end of our show, and thank you for connecting. We were just recapping, talking about the previous episodes that we had, the fun that we had, the cries that we had, the the somber feelings that we had, just every feeling, every wave of feeling that we had, like Cape Town weather. You were there with us. Thank you so much, and we're hoping to see you coming back. We'll announce when we having our next show. We
Mhm,
just want to slide in nicely into our season 2, and
mhm,
be on the lookout on our social media channel platforms.
mhm.
We'll be on Spotify, we'll be on Apple Podcast. We'll announce everywhere possible, on what topics that we'll be discussing in future, and we know, we guarantee that Mam Khemi will be one of
Will be
those
part of
guests.
us next year. Actually, at least once a month, she will be our guest speaker. She will become part of our furniture as well.
Amen to that.
Thanks, Mam Khemi.
Thanks, Mom
Bye.
Khami. Right, truly appreciate it.
um My name is Neo Morapedi, and I'm with my co-host Fikile Nkosi, and we would like to express our thanks. And this is how we're signing out from our show. See you next time. Bini Bibele, Bini Fuzile.
So,